This is the High Voltage Business Builders Podcast, daily intelligence for serious e-commerce portfolio builders across Amazon, TikTok Shop, Shopify, Walmart, and every channel that moves the needle. Neil Twa and his Voltage team all day, every day since 2012. Let's get into it.
Who decides the moment your Amazon account stops being a hobby and starts being a real business? You do. And most operators wait way too long to make that call. It's Tuesday, July 7th. Welcome back, folks. On behalf of myself and the entire team at Voltage, we are thrilled to have you here for episode 316 of the High Voltage Business Builders Podcast. Now, lock it in. Here's the reality. The gap between a hobbyist account and a real operating brand is not a revenue number. It's a decision. It's the moment you stop treating your business like an experiment and start treating it like an asset you are building to last. Today we are talking about that mindset shift, what triggers it, what it looks like in practice, and why Ashley's 1 million in sales in less than 12 months is the clearest proof I have seen in a while that it works. Look, the mindset thing gets talked about a lot in this space, and most of the time it sounds like motivational poster stuff. Believe in yourself, think big. Yeah, that is not what I mean. What I mean is operational. It is the difference between a person who checks their Seller Central dashboard hoping for good news and an operator who already knows what the numbers should say because they built a system that produces those numbers. Here is where most sellers get stuck. They launch a product. Maybe it sells okay. Maybe they do $5,000 to $10,000 in a month. And they treat every decision like a one-off. Should I run ads this week? Should I reorder? Should I tweak the listing? Every question is isolated. There is no framework. There is no model. It is pure reaction mode. That is the hobby account. Not because the revenue is small, because the thinking is small. The shift happens when you start asking different questions. Not what should I do this week, but what does this brand need to look like in 12 months? And what do I build today to get there? That is operator thinking. That is the difference between almost automated income and a part-time side experiment. I have watched operators run $30,000 a month like a hobby, and I have watched operators run $8,000 a month like a real business. The $8,000 one scales. The $30,000 one eventually stalls or breaks because the operator never built the system underneath it. Here is the specific thing I want you to hear. The compounding effect on Amazon is real, but it is not fast. If you are treating your ad spend like a faucet you turn on and off based on how you feel about cash flow that week, you are killing the compounding before it can start. Disciplined PPC builds rank. Rank builds organic velocity. Organic velocity reduces your cost of acquisition. That is the cycle. But you have to commit to it like a business decision, not a weekly experiment. Every dollar you spend with strategic intent is an investment in rank, not just revenue. That is not a slogan. That is a mechanical description of how Amazon's algorithm rewards operators who behave like operators. I want to talk about Ashley because her story is not a rags to riches arc. It is a mindset arc, and that is more useful. Ashley came in with a medical grade scar care brand, solid product, real repeat purchase potential. But her first launch stalled under $10,000 a month. And I have seen that moment break a lot of operators. They think the product failed. They start questioning everything. Some of them quit. Ashley did not quit. She rebuilt. Here is what the rebuild looked like on the numbers side. She ran disciplined PPC targeting specific keywords in her category, not broad spray and pray, targeted intentional campaigns with the compounding cycle in mind. She watched her organic rank improve as sales velocity climbed. Her TACOS, that is total advertising cost of sales, started at a level that would make most operators nervous, and it is still at 40%. But here is the thing, it is declining. That is the signal. A declining TACOS means organic is doing more of the work. The algorithm is starting to trust the brand. Her net margin is holding at 20%. On over 1 million in 12 months of verified revenue, that is not a lucky month. That is a system working. And she just placed a 10,000 unit inventory order. That is not a hobbyist move. That is an operator who looked at her repeat purchase data, trusted her compounding trajectory, and made a capital decision based on a model, not a feeling. The 397% year-over-year growth is the headline. But the real story is that she stopped asking, should I reorder, and started asking, how do I build the inventory position to support the organic rank I am going to have in 6 months? That is the shift from reactive to designed, from experiment to enterprise. Come on. That is the whole game right there.
Would you like to add $100,000 of net profit to your bottom line? while saving 17 hours a week doing it? That's exactly what we built Voltage Business Builders for. It combines the power of experience and being in the right room with the power of AI to compress time and increase your business profits. More than AI for the sake of using AI. It's a room full of senior sellers with over 15 years in e-com, showing you the ropes of AI, business building, and creating generational wealth through business. Visit voltagedm.com to see what's inside the Voltage Business Builders room. And now, back to the podcast.
3 moves. These work whether you're at $5,000 a month or $500,000 a month. The scale changes. The logic does not. First move, audit your decision-making process, not just your metrics. Seriously, write out the last 5 decisions you made in your business. Were they reactive or designed? Did you reorder because of a model or panic when stock got low? Adjusting bids based on data or because a Facebook group said tacos should be under 15%? If your decisions are mostly reactive, that's not a metrics problem. It's a mindset problem. Fix the process first. Using AI can help avoid garbage input that leads to garbage output. And here's the trap I am seeing right now. Operators think AI fixes a reactive process. It does not. AI without real operator expertise behind it is not automation. It is garbage in, garbage out. Just faster. Feed a tool a bad process and you get a bad decision at machine speed. The operators pulling ahead right now are not the ones handing AI the keys. They are the ones putting 13 years of pattern recognition behind the wheel and letting AI do the grunt work under supervision. That is the difference between an operator using AI and AI using an operator. Second move. Commit to the compounding cycle for 90 days without flinching. I know, nobody likes hearing this, but if you're running Amazon ads and killing campaigns every 3 weeks out of fear, you're not running ads. You're running experiments. Pick core keywords. Run disciplined campaigns. Watch your organic rank, not just your advertising cost of spend. Give the algorithm 90 days to recognize the velocity signal. Trust the model. Third move. Make one operator level decision this week. 1. Maybe it's placing that inventory order you've been scared of. Maybe it's raising your ad budget on a keyword you know builds rank. Maybe it's finally setting a real target margin, like 20% net, and restructuring your pricing and cost stack to hit it. 1 operator level decision. That's all I'm asking. Because that decision starts the shift. Not with a revelation, with a choice. This one's boring. It's also where the money is. Make the choice. If any of this hit close to home, here is the thing I see most often. Operators make the mindset shift. They start thinking like a real business, and then they immediately drown in tabs trying to manage it. PPC dashboard, inventory sheet, listing performance, sales reports, all separate, all demanding attention, all pulling you back into reaction mode. Most operators are drowning in tabs. Ads, listings, inventory, pricing, reviews. AI looks like the easy fix, but bad data in means bad calls out. You do not save time. You make expensive mistakes faster. That is not freedom. That is chaos with nobody steering. Here is what works. Caiman Data pulls your live Amazon numbers into one clear picture. Ads, listings, sales, inventory. You see what is working and what is costing you money. Not another spreadsheet that eats your week. Not another tool that promises automation and delivers confusion. You stay in charge. You see the reason before you say yes. Nothing runs without your approval. That is the operator model. You are the CEO. Caiman Data is the clear view you need to make CEO-level calls without spending 4 hours a day in Seller Central tabs. That level of review used to eat hours every week. Caiman Data cuts that down with one live connection to your account. So instead of chasing data, you are reading it, making moves, staying ahead. That is how Voltage helps operators save time, protect margin, and grow without losing control. 13 years in this business, we have seen what works and what burns operators out. Clarity beats complexity every single time. Go to voltagedm.com and learn more about Caiman Data. It is a simple URL, it is a straightforward tool, and it is built for operators who are serious about the shift from experiment to enterprise. Thank you for spending time with me today on the High Voltage Business Builders podcast. I will see you back here tomorrow. Until then, stay high voltage.